Hello, my name is Anika Gauja, and I'm the Executive Director for the Social, Behavioural and Economic Sciences at the ARC. I'm also the Executive Director for the Discovery Project Scheme. The ARC introduced a new two-stage process for applications in the 2025 Discovery Projects round. Following the expressions of interest stage and the notification of shortlisted applicants, this short video will provide information on the full application process, what the full application form looks like, key changes to the form from previous Discovery Project rounds, and explain how the full application will be assessed. As you can see from this slide, the Discovery Project's two-stage process consists of an expression of interest stage and a full application stage. Shortlisted applicants have now been invited to submit a full application in RMS. The full application will be assessed according to 4 criteria: investigator capability, weighted at 30%, project quality and innovation, weighted at 45%, benefit, weighted at 15%, and feasibility, weighted at 10%. These assessment criteria are largely consistent with previous Discovery Project rounds, though note that the weighting of project quality and innovation has increased from 40% to 45%, and the weighting of the investigator capability criterion has decreased from 35% to 30%. I will outline the assessment criteria in more detail in a moment. The full application form includes an additional 3 sections, which allow applicants to provide a budget for the project, include relevant statistical information including SEO codes and international collaborations, and provide, where relevant, a medical research statement. The full application also includes a longer project description question and an additional question on candidate capability. It is important to note that some questions in the administrative summary and participant details sections are pre-populated from the expression of interest and are locked. These are indicated in the sample form and in the instructions to applicants, which are both available on Grant Connect. There are no changes to the full application assessment process from previous Discovery Project rounds. Applications will be assessed by the Selection Advisory Committee, comprised of 5 disciplinary panels. Applications will also be assessed by detailed assessors. Applicants will have the opportunity to submit a rejoinder. It is anticipated that the announcement of outcomes will be made on or before the period of the 20th to the 29th of November 2024. As I mentioned, the application form for the Discovery Project's full application consists of 6 parts. You will already be familiar with the administrative summary and the participant information sections from the expression of interest stage. The majority of the questions in these 2 parts are locked and will be carried forward from the expression of interest to the full application. The administrative summary contains an additional national interest test question, and the participant information section contains an additional question on teaching relief, which, if the applicant indicates that they are applying for teaching relief, will carry through to the project budget. The participant information section of the full application also includes 5 additional questions relating to material personal interests, which must be answered. Participants must also complete the certification question at B18. The FOR codes previously located in the administrative summary will be copied to the classification and statistical information in Part E of the application. The project description section enables applicants to substantially expand on the information provided in the expression of interest. A PDF of up to 7 pages should be uploaded, which should address the questions as outlined in the instructions to applicants using the heading specified. Under the heading Project Quality and Innovation, please answer the following questions. 1. How does the aim of the research contribute to an important gap in knowledge or address a significant problem? 2. How is the research innovative in the context of recent international advances in research in this area? 3. What are the major research questions? 4. Describe the project design, including conceptual framework and methods. 5. does the project involve research pertaining to Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander communities? If yes, describe the strategies for enabling collaboration, engagement, relationship and capacity building, and benefit sharing. 6. To what extent will the research enhance national and/or international collaboration? Under the heading of benefit, you should answer the following 2 questions. 1. What new or advanced knowledge will result from the research? And 2. What are the potential economic, commercial, environmental, social and/or cultural benefits for Australia and/or international communities of the research? Under the communication of results heading, you should answer the question, how will the results of the research program be communicated? References and acknowledgements, if relevant, should be provided. An additional question, capability statement, has been included in Part C to enable applicants to succinctly describe the investigators or the investigator team's capability to deliver the research project as described in the application. Part D, the budget, has been streamlined. When filling out the budget at question D1, only the personnel section should have itemised lines in the budget form. The travel, field research, equipment, maintenance and other categories should all only have 1 line each, showing the total amount requested from the ARC and being contributed by participating organisations. Full justifications of the budget items requested should be provided at question D2. The question on whether a participant is applying for teaching relief has been amended to allow applicants to calculate the cost of this relief based on the policies of their institution rather than the previous set percentages. Requests for teaching relief should be justified at D2. This should include a brief explanation of the nature of the relief, for example, the relevant teaching duty or FTE buyouts, why this is required and how it will benefit the project. Part E contains a series of questions gathering administrative and statistical information. Additional questions in this part include an indication of whether or not the project aligns with an announced Australian government policy, the type of research conducted, as well as questions on collaboration and students attached to the project. Part F asks applicants to indicate whether their research complies with the ARC's medical research policy. As I previously noted, there are 4 assessment criteria at the full application stage. Investigator capability, weighted at 30%, project quality and innovation, weighted at 45%, benefit, weighted at 15%, and feasibility, weighted at 10%. The assessment criteria have been revised to better reflect the scheme objectives and align with the application form. Please read and familiarise yourself with the assessment criteria on this slide, which are also outlined at section 6.4 of the grant guidelines. There is an important update to the assessment criteria involving Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander research. The additional criteria that apply here have been updated to better reflect best research practice and align with key policy documents such as the Indigenous Data Sovereignty Principles, the IATSIS Code of Ethics for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander research, and the NHMRC's Guidelines on Ethical Conduct in Research with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and communities. When addressing the project quality and innovation criterion, particularly at Part C of the application form, the project description, applicants should answer the questions as set out in the instructions to applicants. You will notice that while feasibility is listed as one of the assessment criteria, it is not one of the mandatory headings stipulated in the project description section. Applicants are encouraged to address feasibility criteria across the relevant sections of their application, including the rope section, questions B8 and B14 in particular, the project quality and innovation section, question C1, project description, and the capability statement, question C2, as well as the budget justification. The assessment process for the full application stage of the discovery projects remains unchanged from previous rounds. Each application is assessed by both general and detailed assessors. Your application is allocated to one of 5 disciplinary panels based on the primary FOR codes indicated in the application and other factors such as the match with panel members' expertise, the application, summary, and project description, noting that interdisciplinary applications may be assigned across panels. Further details of the distribution of codes across the disciplinary panels can be found on the ARC website. Detailed assessors are assigned to score and provide written comments on your application, forming the basis of the external assessment as shown on the slide. And you have the opportunity to respond to these comments in a rejoinder. Applications are also scored and ranked by the 2 general assessors who have carriage of your application, which is the panel assessment component. The scores, comments and rankings from the detailed and the general assessors form the basis of the deliberations of the Selection Advisory Committee, which meets to consider the proposals and make recommendations as to which projects should be funded to the Chief Executive Officer and the Minister. It will not necessarily be the case that a full application will be assessed by the same college members who assess the expression of interest. At the full application stage, the application is allocated to 2 college members who serve on the Selection Advisory Committee in one of the 5 disciplinary panels, noting that interdisciplinary applications may be allocated to members across panels. Not all college members serve on the Discovery Project Selection Advisory Committee, and therefore not everyone who participated in the expression of interest assessment will review and assess the full applications. There are no changes to the assessment process for the full application stage from the previous Discovery Project rounds. Applications will be assessed by both general and detailed assessors, and applicants will be able to submit a rejoinder. Each full application will be assessed independently of the related expression of interest and on its own merits as it is presented. Full applications for the Discovery Project's 2025 round opened for submission in RMS on the 11th of April 2024. The full application closing date is the 4th of June 2024. The rejoinder period is from the 7th to the 20th of August 2024, and the anticipated announcement window will be from the 20th to the 29th of November 2024. Resources for applicants, including links to important scheme documentation, including the grant guidelines, the instructions to applicants, the sample full application form, and frequently asked questions, can be found on Grant Connect and the ARC's website. Remember that if you have any questions about the scheme or the preparation of your application, please contact your research office. I wish you well in the preparation of your full application.